Summer Walker just did something that nobody expected. After a private voicemail leaked exposing her alleged affair with Rich the Kid, most celebrities would disappear from social media for weeks. They'd hire a PR team, release a carefully worded apology, and try to move on quietly. But Summer Walker? She went live on Instagram and addressed everything head on. No apologies, no denials, no regrets. During the live, she reportedly acknowledged being involved with Rich for years, spoke openly about the money he spent on her, and even made comments that viewers interpreted as her saying she could take him whenever she wanted. What happened next turned into one of the messiest celebrity scandals of the year, complete with leaked DMs, supposed receipts, and a full breakdown of why Summer said she had zero shame about any of it. The drama began when a photo surfaced online showing Summer Walker and Rich the Kid together in what appeared to be a romantic setting. People immediately started speculating about the nature of their relationship, but speculation turned into online confirmation when a voicemail was leaked. The audio recording was allegedly sent from Summer Walker to Rich the Kid, and the contents were absolutely wild. In the message, Summer reportedly expressed her feelings for Rich while fully acknowledging that he was in a committed relationship with Tori Briggs, the mother of his child and his longtime fiancé. According to reports, the voicemail revealed Summer telling Rich that she missed him and wanted to spend time with him. But here's where it gets interesting. She allegedly told him that he was glad he was back with his family and that she wanted him to stay with Tori. Summer reportedly said she'd been encouraging him to be with Tori all along, asking him why he wasn't committed to his child's mother. She claimed she had no interest in disrupting their family dynamic. But then came the part that shocked everyone. Summer allegedly told Rich that she was perfectly fine being on the side. She said he could get her a separate phone and save her contact under a fake name. The name she supposedly suggested? Pizza Hut. Yeah, you read that right. She allegedly told him to save her number as Pizza Hut so Tori wouldn't know who was calling. The voicemail, at least according to the people who heard the leak, painted a picture of someone who was fully aware of the situation she was entering and had no problem being the other woman. For most people, this would be something to hide or deny. But Summer Walker took a completely different approach. Instead of staying quiet and letting the situation blow over, she decided to address it head on. And by address it, we mean she went on Instagram Live and gave one of the most controversial defenses anyone has ever seen. Before we get into Summer's response, let's talk about the relationship she was allegedly interfering with. Rich the Kid and Tori Briggs have been together for approximately 6 or 7 years. They share a child together and got engaged back in 2019. Despite the engagement, they never actually got married. And if you've been following their relationship over the years, you know it's been anything but smooth. Rich the Kid has been accused of infidelity multiple times throughout their relationship. There have been reports of him being involved with other women, and Tori has allegedly confronted several of these women publicly. Some reports even claim that Tori has gotten into physical altercations defending her relationship. Through it all, she stayed with Rich, continuing to build their family despite the repeated betrayals. So when the Summer Walker situation came to light, it wasn't exactly shocking that Rich was allegedly stepping out again. What was shocking was how brazen Summer was about the entire thing. The voicemail made it clear, at least according to the leak, that this wasn't just a one-time mistake or a moment of weakness. According to the leaked audio, Summer had allegedly been involved with Rich for years. She knew about Tori, she knew about their child, she knew they were engaged, and according to her own reported words, she didn't care. The Pizza Hut reference became an instant meme on social media. People couldn't believe that someone would openly suggest being saved under a restaurant name just to hide an alleged affair. It showed a level of calculation and planning that went beyond a simple mistake. This wasn't portrayed as someone who accidentally fell for the wrong person. This was someone who, according to the voicemail circulating online, actively participated in deception and seemed comfortable with that role. When Tori Briggs caught wind of the leaked voicemail, she didn't stay silent. She took to her Instagram stories and exposed even more details about Summer's behavior, at least from her perspective. According to Tori, Summer had been reaching out to her for approximately 2 years trying to befriend her. Tori claimed that Summer would send messages asking to hang out and link up. She painted a picture of Summer allegedly trying to get close to her while simultaneously being involved with her man behind her back. Tori expressed frustration that Summer would try to play both sides, acting friendly to her face while allegedly betraying her trust. Tori also addressed something that particularly upset her as a mother. She claimed that Summer had made references to being around Tori's child. According to Tori, there was an incident where Rich allegedly left their son's backpack at a location where Summer was present. Tori emphasized that she's very protective of her children and doesn't post their faces publicly to keep them safe. So for Summer to allegedly reference the child felt like crossing a major line. Tori made it clear that whatever issues existed between the adults, children should always be left out of it. But Tori didn't just write paragraphs. She backed up her claims with what she described as receipts. She posted screenshots of direct messages that allegedly showed Summer reaching out to her multiple times over the years. In one message, Summer reportedly said something along the lines of asking Tori to call her when she felt lonely or wanted to have fun. Tori's response was reportedly just a "good night," clearly not interested in building a friendship. In another message from 2023, Summer allegedly asked how Tori was holding up. Then, according to the screenshots, Summer sent a longer message claiming she had reached out to offer words of encouragement about moving on from someone who doesn't respect you. Summer allegedly said in the message that she had completely moved on from the situation and asked Tori not to share their private conversations because it was embarrassing. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Here was Summer allegedly claiming she wanted to help Tori move on from Rich, while simultaneously being involved with him herself. The messages painted a picture, at least as Tori framed it, of someone who was allegedly being manipulative and two-faced. Tori's point was clear. Summer wasn't just the other woman, she was allegedly someone who tried to infiltrate her life, gain her trust, and play the role of a concerned friend, all while betraying her behind the scenes. Most people in Summer's position would have apologized, or at least tried to lay low after being exposed like this. But Summer Walker chose chaos. She went on Instagram Live and delivered a response that had people's jaws on the floor. Instead of showing remorse or taking accountability, Summer reportedly defended her actions and even went on the offense against Tori. She started by saying she had no shame about the situation. She made it clear she wasn't apologizing for anything. Then she went into her reasoning, and this is where things got really wild. Summer reportedly admitted that she dates for money. She said Rich the Kid spends money, and since he and Tori weren't married, she didn't see an issue with being involved with him. She claimed she doesn't get involved with married men and said she specifically checked to make sure there was no wedding ring before proceeding. Then Summer addressed Tori directly, pointing out that there have been multiple reports and even videos online of Tori allegedly fighting other women over Rich. She brought up rumors that Rich has allegedly gotten other women pregnant during their relationship. Summer's argument was essentially that if Rich has been unfaithful so many times and Tori keeps staying, then why is she being singled out as the villain? Summer went even further, claiming that she had actually been advocating for Tori the entire time. She said she would tell Rich that he and Tori were perfect together and questioned why he wouldn't just commit to the mother of his child. She claimed she always spoke highly of Tori and encouraged Rich to be with her. But then Summer admitted something that contradicted that entire narrative. She said she had been involved with Rich for years. She acknowledged accepting expensive gifts, trips to Italy, and even claimed he once gave her a large sum of money toward her mortgage. She talked about him filling her house with flowers and being generous with his spending. The cognitive dissonance was staggering. On one hand, Summer was saying she supported Tori and wanted Rich to be faithful. On the other, she was admitting to accepting lavish gifts and financial support from Tori's man for years. She tried to frame it as though she was doing Tori a favor by not taking it further. Summer claimed that she could have pushed for more, could have demanded that Rich fully take care of her, but she chose to stay in the side position. She said she didn't like Rich enough to be with him full-time and couldn't understand how Tori dealt with him being around constantly. Summer also addressed why she finally decided to speak out. She said she was glad Tori exposed the situation because Summer had allegedly been considering pushing for more from Rich, including asking for a condo in Miami. But seeing how Tori reacted made her realize she would never have peace. She claimed Tori would have made her life miserable and that being exposed publicly actually saved her from making a bigger mistake.
Throughout the live, Summer repeatedly called both Rich and Tori older than her, emphasizing that she's still in her 20s and questioning why they were all on the internet airing out drama like this. Then came what might have been the most shocking part. Summer addressed Tori directly and told her that Summer really wanted Rich, Tori would be out on the street working a regular job. She claimed that Rich was obsessed with her and that she could take him if she wanted to. She said the only reason she hadn't is because she genuinely didn't want him that badly. She framed her involvement with Rich as purely transactional, saying she would reach out when she wanted something, money, trips, or gifts, and he would provide it. She claimed it was essentially free money, so why would she turn it down?
Summer ended her live by giving Tori what she framed as woman-to-woman advice. She told Tori that she couldn't fight every woman Rich cheated with, and that she needed to recognize that Rich was the real problem. Summer said that if Rich truly liked Tori, they would be married with no scandals and no infidelity. She encouraged Tori to cut it out and stop directing her anger at other women when her man was the one being unfaithful. Summer closed by saying those would be the last flowers she accepted from Rich, though many people questioned whether that was actually true or just something said for the cameras. The entire situation sparked massive debates online. Some people felt Summer was being honest about a reality that many people live but don't talk about. They argued that she wasn't doing anything illegal and that Rich was the one in a relationship, so he bore the responsibility for his infidelity. Others felt Summer was completely out of line for publicly humiliating another woman and admitting to behavior that many consider morally wrong. People pointed out that just because something isn't illegal doesn't make it right. The phrase girl code was thrown around a lot, with many arguing that Summer violated an unspoken rule among women not to knowingly pursue someone else's partner. What made the situation even more complicated was the layer of Summer allegedly trying to befriend Tori while being involved with Rich. If the DM screenshots Tori posted were real, it showed a level of deception that went beyond just an affair. It suggested manipulation and a desire to have access to both sides of the situation. Some people theorized that Summer wanted to be close to Tori to keep tabs on the relationship and know when it was safe to engage with Rich. Others thought Summer might have been experiencing guilt, and reaching out to Tori was her way of trying to make herself feel better about the situation. The financial aspect also raised eyebrows. Summer's admission that she dated for money and accepted expensive gifts from Rich opened up a larger conversation about transactional relationships. Some people defended her, saying that if a man is willing to spend money on you, there's nothing wrong with accepting it. Others felt relationships reduced to financial exchanges and sent a negative message, especially to younger people watching the situation unfold. The fact that Summer seemed proud of this arrangement rather than embarrassed by it was particularly polarizing. For Tori, the situation put her in an impossible position. On one hand, people sympathized with her for allegedly being cheated on repeatedly and trying to hold her family together. On the other hand, people questioned why she stayed with someone who clearly didn't respect her or their relationship. The criticism she faced for staying with Rich, despite his reported pattern of infidelity, was harsh. Many people told her she needed to leave and find someone who would treat her with the respect she deserved. But relationships are complicated, especially when children are involved, and outsiders can never fully understand what keeps two people together. This entire saga raises bigger questions about loyalty, respect, and boundaries in modern relationships. It shows how social media has changed the way people handle personal drama, turning private matters into public entertainment. It also highlights how differently people view accountability when it comes to infidelity. Is the person who cheats solely responsible, or does the person they cheat with share some of that responsibility? Where do we draw the line between personal choices and behavior that harms others? These are questions without easy answers, but situations like this force us to think about them.